tomorrow about setting goals, dreaming about the future. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? Turning nothing into something. How do you do that? Right? I teach it in Russia. Profits are better than wages. How do you turn nothing into something? Here's how you start. There's 3 steps to it. Number 1, imagination. And we'll really talk tomorrow about setting goals, dreaming about the future. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? And try to imagine yourself in those new, worthwhile, unique positions. So imagination starts to change everything. This auditorium, this hotel, this convention center was once in someone's imagination. Now, imagination is not tangible, but it is almost real. Almost real. It's not real, but it's almost real. But it's hard to say that imagination is nothing. But it's nothing in terms of tangible. It's not tangible yet. And you always have to say yet. Imagination is not tangible yet. But it is the beginning of turning nothing into something. It's the beginning of turning nothing into reality, imagination. So the hotel I'm staying in next door was once in someone's imagination. Imagination is the ability to see things that don't yet exist. The ability to see what does not yet exist. Imagination is real in the sense that it affects. It'll affect your behavior, it'll affect your enthusiasm, it'll affect your emotions. It's real in that sense, but it's not real in the tangible sense. But to turn nothing into something, you start with imagination. Next is faith. To believe that what you imagine is possible. How would we start to strengthen our belief in that what we imagine is possible to turn it into reality? And there's 2 or 3 ways. One is to believe your own testimony. If you've done it before, why couldn't you do it again? If you've done it once, couldn't you do it the second time? Why not believe in your own testimonial? If I did it before, I can do it again. I was rich by age 31 and broke by age 33. So now, and I'll talk about that tomorrow when we talk about financial independence. But now, my question was, could I do it again? And the answer was, yes, of course. You know, I lost the money, but I didn't lose the skills. And that's what's important about personal development. You can lose the money, but not the skills, so who cares about the money? Unless it's getting late, right? And you're like 90, and you know, it's a little difficult to go back to the streets, but hey, once you've got the skills, you own the skills. It's like sales. A skill is more valuable than a sale. Sometimes a salesperson says, I need a sale. I said, no, you need a skill. Sales are temporary. Skills are permanent. So we start with imagination, which is almost real. I mean, it's not real yet. It's not tangible yet, but it's almost real. Now we move to faith, to believe that what we imagine is possible. So we study our own testimonial. If we've done it before, we can do it again. Here's what else we study. Other testimonials of somebody who did it. Somebody that built a hotel said, yes, I started with some plans and finally believed it was possible, and here it is. Say, well, if it's possible for one, it's possible for another. In fact, sometimes when we hear the testimonial, here's how they finish. If I can do it, you can do it. See, that's a classic testimonial that gives us now what we call faith. And one of the ancient wise writers said, faith is generated by what we hear. Faith is generated by what we hear. The vocabulary of what we hear, the vocabulary of what we read, that generates faith, to believe that it's possible. Now, faith is not reality. You can't say faith is nothing because it affects. It's like radiation. To us, it's nothing because it can't be seen. But radiation is so powerful it can kill you. Right? You can't see it, but it has an incredible effect. And that's true of faith. Faith can't be seen, right? With the natural eye, it can't be seen, but it has an incredible effect on your attitude. on your behavior, on your disciplines, on your work for the day, and all the rest. So faith is tangible in that sense, that it affects the emotions, it affects the drive. But we still don't have a hotel. Even though the imagination is very powerful, and even though faith is very real, we still don't have a hotel. Because faith is not a hotel. Now, it's almost. It is so close. Here's what one writer described faith. Faith is a substance of hope. Now, it's not a substance like a brick being a piece of the hotel, but it's almost. It's so close, it's substance. And the writer also said it's so close, it's evidence. Now, not evidence you can see, but tangible evidence that's just as real as all of our human experiences that can't be touched, can't be seen. It's called the unseen magic. Language is the unseen magic. It can't be seen. The words can't be seen as they're transmitted from the speaker to the one who listens, but it can have a profound effect. That means it's more than nothing. Language is more than nothing, and our next big subject is going to be communication, how to affect other people with words. But to create something out of nothing, we start with imagination, then we move to faith, which believes it's possible, which is almost real. I built my first home for my family in Idaho many, many years ago. And before I...
Okay. I think we're here. I think everybody can see me. So I really wanted to play that because I wanted to emphasize the mindset behind being successful. It's more than just, let me fix the light. It's more than just plugging in some numbers and making money. Money is a frequency, money is an energy. Everything in this life is an energy. We're live on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody in the Telegram? What's up, the Inner Circle on the back line on Zoom? But I just wanted to go ahead and say, it's a frequency that we have to be on, that we have to stay on in order to even catch it, if that makes sense. For us to get success, we have to be vibrating on a certain level. We have to continuously be happy. We have to be grateful for what it is that we're getting before we even get it. See, what I'm doing here every single week is ultimately for the greater good. I want people to understand if we're in a recession or not, which we are. They haven't officially announced it, but we definitely are. If we're in a recession or not, if you have a job or not, if you're doing anything, I want you to be able to have a chance to be able to go ahead and take things to the next level. Meaning, when things get bad in the real world, it doesn't have to get bad in your life. You're still going to be able to have ways to make money. You're still going to be able to have a chance to really keep putting food on your table. Let's keep it real. I'm not going to talk about the luxuries. We can go to luxuries. We can get the luxury cars. We can get the chains. We can get the nice houses. But it's really about getting us away from that pain, getting us away from check to check, getting us away from one bill away from might not have the house, being able to at least make a couple $30, $40. That's a tank of gas. I want us to be able to really come in. I think last week we made another, we were up at least 3,100 pips before crypto started kind of ranging again. So we're getting out good, solid zones every single week. If you don't know what's going on, if this is your first time, I want to welcome you to the channel. I want to welcome you to what we have going on here, because I want you to come in and see at this link right here above, you're going to see everything that we have. It's an automated crypto scanner. You don't have to have knowledge. All you need is MT4. And I have the apps inside of here. Once you download the app, come over here and get your ticket to the party. We're going to come over here. We're going to have fun. We're going to have some good energy. We're going to have live crypto analysis, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Not telling you to buy it in your portfolio, just saying, hey, we're going to be able to make money if crypto drops. If Bitcoin drops, we're going to make money. If crypto goes up, we're going to make money. We have an advantage because we can make money at any time possible. That's what I want you to know. We can make money going up or down. up or down. That's huge because a lot of people only know how to make money from their time. A lot of people, when it comes to investing, only know how to make money when things go up, when it appreciates. But a lot of people don't know how to capitalize when things go down. And that's what we do here. So once you download the MT4 app, I want you to see right here, learn how to enter trades on the MT4. This here is big. This here is big. And I think my camera's in the top left. So I think if I point here, yeah, perfect. Here on this video, learn how to enter trades on the MT4. It's going to break down how to set your MetaTrader 4 up, even if it's just a demo. Once you do that, you're going to be able to go ahead and trade with us live for free, and it's no extra cost to either of us. And now I know nobody's going to be ready to get started today, but if you know anybody that will want to have this on a month-to-month basis, or just go ahead and get a full year's package to be able to have access to, because this is, I'm giving you one call a week, and there's hundreds of calls every week. But with this specific strategy, with this specific person, there's 3 a week. Coaching you through one of our automated scanners, really teaching you the ins and outs on how to get in and out the market. And then, of course, you can invite somebody. The next one will actually be July 12th. I'm changing that after this call. And then you want to get inside this free group. When you click on this link, free group is going to take you to a Telegram. It's going to take you to a Telegram that keeps you up to date on more than just crypto. I'm going to be transparent. More than just crypto. Let me go ahead and share with you guys. Where are we at? Right here. So inside this Telegram, boom, zones. We're going to tell you the reserves in the US. We're going to keep you up to date on crypto news. Asking people, letting you know that in this cryptopreneur group, there's going to be 4 phases. Phase 1, making profits or cash utilizing crypto analysis. That's if you're buying and holding inside your crypto portfolio or trading it with us every Tuesday. Use those profits. Yes, you can pay a bill. Yes, you can buy a car. Yes, you can get a house. But those don't bring you more cash flow. If you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, they talk heavily on cash flow. Phase 2 is going to teach you how to use the profits, reinvest it into a business model, or expand your different incomes for cash flow. That's your home-based business, getting advertisement, getting more courses, monthly subscriptions, things like that to be able to, okay, you've learned a little bit, you've been getting it for free, updating your cash. Now let's get you a course. Now let's get you something that's going to take you to the next level that you can have access to on the daily. And then the cash from there get you more assets that you can live off of. Profits from your assets means that asset is going to be generating cash for pretty much ever. And now you can just live your life off the cash that the asset brings you. That's living. And then guess what? Step 4, repeat. So now you can take cash from your assets, live a little, and then do the same process all over again, over and over again. And now you can scale your wealth. But that's one of the things we have. We partnered with a cannabis company that's going to allow you guys to get 40% income, 40% of each sale from the cannabis company if you come in and use this link. There's also in here a reel we just posted about travel. This reel shows you how you're going to get $800 off. $800 off a trip to New Orleans. And there's going to be more trips. If you guys want to leave comments on the YouTube, under the post, whatever, you're going to leave comments on what place you want to stay. I'll make sure I get to a video and actually compare the prices between what we have and Expedia. But let's go ahead and get into it. I know Sean is getting ready to go up right now. If you have the scalper, go ahead, pull your scalper up. Let's go ahead and get in and pull your scalper up. Follow along. Make sure you're able to go ahead and get the reps in. Start really taking advantage of what you have in front of you. Take advantage of this because, as you see, breaking close above this zone confirms the idea. You could have already been up 500 pips, almost around 1,000 pips on the day if you'd have just took this trade idea. But if you don't know, then you don't know. So come in here, get your reps in. Go, let's go ahead, watch this, see what's going on. I will be going in the chat and giving you guys the zones again. But being on the call is what's going to help you take advantage of the zones. By taking advantage of the zones, you will not even be hit by the recession. You will be able to stay afloat. You'll be able to go ahead and take things over. So let's go ahead, tune in, listen to Sean. I'll see you guys at the end of the call.
At the end of the day, we buy from the top, we sell from the bottom. So we buy from the top here, sell from the bottom. I'm doing a quick review. I know I may have some new people on today, but once it hits 6:15, we're a go. So it's about to hit it about 30 seconds or less, and we are go. All right. If you are brand new, watch one of my older videos last week or 2 weeks ago. Just look for an overview. Just take notes. It may be fast, but take notes. All right. All right. So let's look at ETH. Let's get this thing cracking. Right. Let's get this thing cracking. So we're gonna start off with this right here. Remember the TPS. We're looking at how many times does the market keep touching. Right. So ignore this. 1, 2, 3. Right. Bam. We come back here. Act like this is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember this right here, what I'm about to say. A good support, it's an old resistance. A good resistance is an old support, right? So this was a resistance, but it was once an old support for something up here. So I do want you to have that knowledge. So when I'm looking for resistance, remember what we talked about. I'm probably looking for a support, maybe, if it's there. Now, I don't have to force it. So I always start from here. Always understand where the 50 EMA is. It's very important to understand where the 50 EMA is always. Around 11:29. All right. So it's 11:43. Cool. All right. So I'm going to come up to the first level here. My Instagram is KINGSEUN3. Hello. All right. So I may be looking at this one right here, but my goal is to look to the left, to the right. So if you're a person that starts off and says, Sean, I look for the high first. I mean, cool. I mean, I get it. I see why. But I want to challenge people that do that. So I help people look for target zones. I don't just declare them, right? So it's good to understand, okay, this is a good structure, right? We're going to do a horizontal line for this one. It's not going to be thick. Does anyone know what I might do? Has been on my session. You've been on my session recently. What do you think I might make that? What do you think you would do with something like that? If it's a good enough zone, but you don't want to get in for that, what would you call that? What could you use it for? Drop in the chat. So we have this right here around 1150. We could test this and see, does this have a good structure? Granted, that's not much, but I mean, actually, that's not much. I wouldn't even, it would just be like a warm up. I got some on my face. All right. So let's look at 1150, 1152. So the answer is target zone, right? But we may move this up here for a potential right? So let's go back. That's definitely a resistance, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on an indent and an 8 right there. Talk to me. And that's one day. 8, that's gonna be the next best resistance. That's 1152. I mean, that's like 100 pips. Not really much, honestly, but I think we may be able to move it above. I may move it above. I thought that was my bad. But that could be used, but we probably could use the next one. Remember, when it comes to counting pips, so technically, as you can see, it's usually 6-digit numbers, right? We're always gonna ignore this digit number right here for ETH, and it becomes 50, but it's still 50. So that makes it what? 1157. All right, I'm really thinking you could potentially use 1172 instead. We just got, it has to make sense. It does. 1172 do make sense. Perfect. It looks good too. It does make sense. We even have an indent right there. Not bad. But it's not bad. At the end of the day, you're not looking for the best structure. You're just looking for it to make sense. So I probably would use for a quick TP. That's if you want to use a TP. Is that right? Small one. That's how you find it, just like that. How many minutes did we do that? We did that in less than 3 minutes. That easy. SLs. What would an SL be? SLs are kind of basically, because scalping is really just looking at the next best time you can get in. Like, that's really the principle. And you're getting as much as you can, and you're basically out, right? That's the objective of scalping. But at the same time, I do want you to know, like, I do want you to know, like, as much as that is the objective of scalping, that do you have a mindset? As much as that's the objective of scalping, do you have the mindset of you don't need to over leverage with your SL. So, like, it's not about blowing your account. So the biggest thing is basically generated by when you do get in. 300 pips from when you get in, which is basically minus 30. Talk to me. All right. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chats. Y'all can drop y'all supports. Oh, I see. Take profit. 1154. Why did you choose 1172 instead of 1162? Why would you choose 1162? Oh, I mean, are you talking about resistance? Or are you talking about? You said why did I choose 1172? It depends what you're addressing it for. Regardless, either or. I mean, either one of these two was not going to be good enough because we were just looking at it as a target zone. That's going to be less than 100 pips right here. So I just found something a little bit lengthier. Probably gives us about 120, 150 pips for a target. That's if you want to use that one. Of course, oh, there it is. Of course, you can use something else. But at the end of the day, that's just, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you use for target. It's not that serious, to be honest. I did my own level Tuesday, and I got 1158. Talk to me. Hello. Shout out to you. We just got the same one. All right, y'all can drop y'all supports. 1104, 1093. Cool. Drop y'all supports. That's where we already got someone dropping their support. John E. 310. All right, so start from here. And we basically go down an octave. All right. So we here at 1123. Nope. That's actually still close. That's 70 pips. So we go down some more. And what we're looking for is basically things that are moving aligned. We go down some more. That's an indent right here. 1115. Sometimes I will say make sure that you have yours not too far, because if you do, you're going to think it's way bigger than what it actually is. That's like, now it makes sense. I was like, it looks pretty big. I still don't like that. I may go down here, honestly. I'm not even going to lie to you. I may go at least start here. So I see 1103, 1104. It doesn't really matter which one you pick between those two numbers. But, I mean, first indicator right here is this line. That is a beautiful indication. As you can see, this line is connected with this resistance. Resistance, resistance. Remember, a good support is an old what? Resistance. So we're going to go with 1104. Makes sense. You could do 1103. You could do 1104. All right. And bam. What's the support over here? Almost a resistance here. Look at 1102. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We probably could have moved it down a little bit, maybe. Means we could probably move it down just a little bit. Around 1103. But yeah, just like that. Talk to me. Now that's a sexy support. Look at that. That is exactly what you're looking for. Resistance, resistance, support, resistance, 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 supports, supports. Hello, 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 hello. At 625. Cool. Bet. Let's see, Sean. I know you've been helping us lately find the next zone for target areas, right? I know you can't call TPs, but can you at least show us some what would it be a cool ideal area? What's the next zone for something like that? Right? Remember, when you are looking for those, it's about how much pips you want. It's not. That's why I'm saying you don't have to look for the next best support. It's not about that. It's just looking for how much pips you want, right? I mean, if you want 100 pips, be my guest. Find the next support, because there's plenty. I'm letting you know there's plenty. There's plenty supports. There's plenty resistance throughout a chart. At the end of the day, when we're looking for the next time we're getting in, you want to look for the strongest one that's still a good distance. When you're looking for a target area, from there, whatever you have, you then measure it by how much pips you want, and then you use that one. So it's 1104, right? I mean, if I want to do 1094, be my guest, but I'm not getting much if that's really my ideal target, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, it's about how much you want. If you're not a person like Sean, whenever I get in, I'm just gonna do plus 300. Cool, you can do that. That's an easy way too, right? Or if you're a person of Sean, I scalp. I just get as much as I can and I'm out. Cool. I mean, that'd be my guess. There's preferences, right? I'm not giving you a say all, do all, right? So let's look at the next one. We'll just drop down. Let's see what makes sense. Crazy enough, it would be 1093. Ooh, look at that. I didn't even know it was that, right? That's less than 100 pips from when you count spreads. Is it really necessary to use? No. Next one, 1087. That's a good 150 pips. Do you want to use that? It's up to you. That's an ideal win. Let's see what this 1080-ish looks. Like, it's just this and everything else doesn't even hit. Let's look at this one here. Yeah. Now that looks a lot better. 1076. That's almost 300 pips. That's almost 300 pips. I'll even do 1075, right? Then bam. That easy. That easy. Like, it makes sense. None of these don't make sense. And now we just finished that. We just have to add super trend. Welcome to a fast session. We still got BTC. Hello. Drop some flames in the chat if you are excited. All right. Yay, that's 212 getting the same zones. Woo! You got the same zones. That's interesting, because I would think, that probably was a trick one for a lot of people, right? I would definitely, that should have been easy. If you would have went if you would have won 1117, you're so close to the 50 EMA. It's just like, I just don't get why you would do that. Like, because at the end of the day, picture yourself in the trade. Do you really want to get 200 pips SLs? That's nothing. A lot of y'all trades 200 pips SLs are it's usually way more than 200 pips. So like, I want you to know, like, 1117, 1128. Yeah, is it 1117 and this was 1128? That's 110 pips back, right? 150 pips, you're on the other side of the water. Is that really what you want? You know what I mean? So you're just being a little bit mindful. You're just being a little bit mindful. Being very mindful. You just don't want to be to a point where your support SL is basically hitting a resistance for a buy. That's dangerous. That's gambling. That's almost basically borderline hedging. I mean, which can be good if you have the right account, right? Talk to me. All right. Let's talk up to the 940 area. How much pips will be? Facts. That's a lot of pips. Thousands of pips. Right? Thousands of pips right there, my man. Or my girl, I don't know. Oh, I did not fill that part out. My bad. There's something I didn't fill out on there. 1103 minus that was 1103. Oh, 1103. Oh, okay. It's 1098. I saw 1098 too in the chats. Beautiful. Y'all killing it. Y'all killing it today. Y'all are killing it today. What? All right. ETH is basically done at 6:30. We're gonna I'm about to drop something in the chat, just to drop in the DCX chat. While I'm doing that, I'm going to Supertrend, typing it out in indicators, and I'm clicking this green line. I need you to do the same. Green line. The new added green line. Make sure your inputs is 1-1. That is the settings. We're gonna look at it. Then after that, we're gonna do Bitcoin. My Instagram is KINGSEUN3. Hello. All right. Dun 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 dun. Too fresh, too clean. We got NFT Tuesdays today. Dun 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 dun. All right. Click. All right. We okay. Good. All right. So remember. You looking at the blue. You looking at the blue. You looking at what colors you see, right? If it's red, that means the market is currently bearish. That means the market is currently selling. If this is red, so you look at when the blue line crosses, right? The blue line crosses the red, crossed the red, right? If the blue line comes up and crosses a green line, that's basically telling you the market is currently buying. Why are these powerful? What does it mean? Why do you care, right? Why do you care? You care because you kind of want to know what's currently happening in the market. It's pretty important. All right, cool. So we're gonna go on TradingView. I didn't announce that we are gonna go on TradingView to do it. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna drop it here. Then we're gonna come back to it closer to the end of the call. All right, so we're now about to soon do Bitcoin. So if you're wondering, are we getting in for a trade? No. The blue line's coming to the 50 EMA, the yellow-orange line, which currently makes it an indecision at the current moment. As of, it is not a time to get in anything for a couple of reasons why. This can bounce off and bounce off. And if you think it's a sell, it can bounce off the 50 EMA. Happens a lot more than you know. Cool. So 2, you don't want to trade inside the middle of a zone. You just don't have much leverage. Imagine you're potentially getting in right here, hoping that this goes down or bounces off and does not come up. How many times do you honestly think that happens? Not necessarily all the time. Like, even inside the zone, it can literally go back down. Or go up. Like, it doesn't always happen like that. So I'm letting you know, like, as much as you thinking this may be a sell, I'm going to get in for a sell. The minute you go inside for a sell and it starts coming back up, you're already in the L, and then you ignored step 2. Is the blue one above the yellow orange? If it is, it's bullish. Even though the market is saying the market is currently selling, the overall trend is still bullish. So you got to be a little careful with all of these things. And that's why I always recommend, and before I get too tactical, don't even trade inside the zone. It's no point. You want to trade where the market is exiting from one point or the other. So this is, you could either sell from the top like this if it crosses, and you're going to have to get a snipe entry, right? Cool. You're going to have to, that's not something I teach heavy, but it is another route you can go. Or the traditional route is what we already set up, is our potential buy right here. Cool. That's the traditional route. That's where you're about to basically tap into an impulse. Or you can do the traditional route from selling from the bottom right here, which you already set up. We even have a potential target zone. And potentially understand that at the same time, if it bounces off, you could look at a potential buy from the bottom. But again, I would recommend make sure it crosses super trend, so you can at least get as much as you can. Those type of things, if you bouncing from the bottom, catching a buy from the bottom, or catching a sell from the top, going basically doing the other way, just be mindful is that you are scalping for real, and you're getting as much as you can. You're not swinging for 1,000, 3,000 pips right there. Like, that's not what you're doing. So just be mindful of that if you ever do it that way. But yep. All right. So let's do BTC. We are now done with ETH. Guys, I have a question. Let's say I want to enter for Bitcoin. I have done support and resistance, and I'm confident about my entry. But I can also enter ETH at the same time without doing support and resistance. I also figure because ETH, blah, 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 why is it not enough just to mark up one? Okay, well, the reason why I don't just do that, the reason why I don't just mark up one and just call it a day is that we will be done in 15 minutes. Two, someone said it's a gamble. It is, if you know why it's a gamble. I don't know if you know, or you may just be thinking like, it's the unknown. If you don't mark up anything, it is always the unknown. So, and it's up to you, you know what I mean? It's up to you. How much do you value your money? Granted, it depends. And I'm going to say this, it's not something I would always recommend. If I'm in a very serious situation where I marked up one and I know one is buying, it's kind of like, I used to know when someone calls ETH buy and BTC looks pretty similar, as in like the form of the chart and the same candles, like I'm sensing the exact same patterns. And I'm just talking about just from like a child can look at it and say it looks the exact same, right? If I'm feeling that and someone's calling ETH buy and BTC is buying the same way and XRP is buying, if I'm in a serious place where I can't look at I can't open my laptop and mark up, if anything, I'll try to do it on TradingView from my phone. And if I just still can't do that, I may irrationally be very cautious of my lot size, get in for a BTC. So I do get you, but again, that's not something I would push. You know what I mean? If you have, it takes 1 minute to mark up. It takes 1 minute. If you can do it, just for the sake of your how you feel. But it could be a risk because sometimes it's not 100% of the time that they move the exact same. It's not 100. It's like 80, but not 100. I've seen it not many, but I've seen it before where it has not moved similar. So yeah, but I do want y'all to know that is a way. I always recommend verifying. If you are about to get into an ETH, I verify, look at BTC and look at XRP. If they're both selling, you're pretty much good to go. If you want to get into, a ETH sell or whatever, right? I'm just saying that because it's heading down, right? Yeah. All right, please open up TradingView. We are going to put these on our alerts because the market is in the middle. So we're going to get notified and we're going to do BTC. But it could be a gamble, though. But it's a preference. I don't blame you if you do it. Just know what you potentially getting yourself into. All right, we are now at BTC. Look at BTC, looks similar. BTC has the exact same formation, right? That's what I was talking about, same formation. Although, there is something that you do need to know. Do you remember earlier we were talking about how the line was bouncing? Well, the line was touching the 50 EMA. The line's a little bit above it. I mean, that's not that deep because it could catch up, but that's a slight difference, right? But I did say something about make sure just because you see you see Super Trend telling you to sell, and make sure, if anything, never get into the trade if it's in the middle. You never want to, because it can bounce off the 50 EMA. Happens all the time. It doesn't always just go one direction and go one direction. It sometimes stops in the middle. So make sure you wait. Just as much as you don't want to, it's better to wait, right? All right, so now let's get ready for BTC. We now finished ETH so nicely. I'm gonna give you ETH examples for parameters. I always just give these out. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it's just an example. So people are already dropping BTC. I like that you dropped the resistance first because you knew I was gonna do that. 20,386. Shout out to you for dropping resistance zone first. I like when people know which one I'm about to do. That's smart. If you don't know, and if you don't think about step 2 about it's a candle, if the blue line's above or anything like, if you don't think about that, remember, if anything, always put this here. He's gonna do the resistance zone first. I'm easily doing the resistance zone first, right? Cool. All right, so bet. It also has that tall one. We might use that tall one for a target area, right? So we go from here, come up. Do we want to stop here? 20,003, 30, 39, 44. Not really, because there's a lot of the stuff that broke through. Let's come up another one. I may even come up a little higher. Man, there's an indent right here. It makes me wonder if is there really something at 20,447 or do something. Honestly, I'll go in between. So if you ever stuck where you see something like this for like 20,440, then you go down a little bit and it's like 50 pips away, just go in between the two. Split it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Split it. So I'll probably go in between. That I don't expect anyone to have the same one like me because you probably didn't do that. So I'm gonna split in between the two. I could obviously go back and check the chart and see what the chart says in the back. Remember what we talked about, a good resistance is an old support. So what we're looking for is an old support or prior resistance, right? So we have something here. Oh, that's too high. Okay, acting like a level of structure around 20,000 and around here too. All right, let's see. All right, we got a lot of supports here. Look at this, June 22nd. A lot of resistance, 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 supports. Acting like a level of support. And we even got one where, do you see this line? Remember what I talked about earlier? This straight line sometimes, that means the market didn't even move and it went on like that. So that 20,420 is a smooth trick I would recommend using on support and resistance. If you ever, like a good support, a resistance zone could cover almost 50 pips. So don't stress yourself out. But one thing I recommend, that being said, you need to go in the middle of it. Don't try to, I'm just going to pick one. But if they're real close, just go in the middle of it. Your resistance zone technically is going to be thick enough regardless. You're okay. just a little precaution. All right, so it's only 6:43. We got a minute and 18 seconds for the next 15-minute close. So this still looks like the market's in the middle. So it looks like we may not get into anything today. Unless we get a random drop or shot up. Looks like we're not going to get into anything on the session. Does not mean I could get off in an hour. It can break through one of these colors that we already set up today, right? It could. But as of now, no, but it could. I want you to know that. All right. So we got 20,424. Let's just round it up to 425, right? 20,425 plus 100. So basically what we're saying is, and the reason why I add 100 pips to make sure that if we're getting in for a buy, we're not getting in like right here. We're getting in where there's a good amount, right? Where there's a good amount. Like you need to know what a break and close is. A break and close, just so you can see what it looks like this. That doesn't look like it's 5 pips. It doesn't look like you getting in where there's nothing there, right? I do need y'all to know that. So it's pretty important to know. Oh, it's probably I'm gonna have to. All right, perfect. Right? You have to understand that a break and close is not right here. Right? You gotta know that it can break like that and come back inside. Like it did right here. It did that at 20,485. Broke through. That's a break and close technically, but it went shot back down. You need something more. So that's why I add 100 pips, is to ensure that you know that's the time to get in versus something small, right? Cool. So I got 20,525. Let's see what y'all talking about with supports. All right, King Kambong, beautiful. Waiting for my resistance. I don't know about 475. John E. Mark Sanders. Yeah, I knew that one was gonna throw some people off because you probably didn't even think to do that part, right? So if you think that splitting that resistance area, if you think that's pretty helpful, drop DCX in the chat. Guess what we could do? Let's look at this as a target zone, right? Let's look at 20,754 as a target zone. We're gonna make this thin, and bam. Does it respect it? Look at this. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Beautiful. That's enough that I don't need a crazy amount, right? And just like that, you now have a potential target area, and you have that. That might be too small for you, which if that's the case, cool. I'm not here to mark up thousands target zones. I just try to find whatever I see it's easy for me to do, because it could always take longer. Granted, if you really want to find the next one, what I would recommend, something especially here, I'll do it, because anytime I get to the chance to do it, I always do it. That's why I don't do it, because I know I'm going to do it, right? I'll probably increase it, and I'm not, again, it's about seeing how much you want, right? Seeing how much you want and seeing if it makes sense. So you're just going up here and seeing, do I see a lot of times that the market it's hitting? Granted, you could zoom in, but being at, like, it's none around here makes it where I have to do this, right? But today's Tuesday. So look at this, 20,895. That's actually a good one. 20,895, right? Now you see this, supports. Is that a little bit of resistance? Cool. It doesn't, I'm not looking for the best structure. Supports, cool. Supports, cool. A good resistance and good resistance has old supports, right? So now, basically what I'm saying from here, whenever I'm getting in, I have at least 300 pips to spare, right? Which means now I know my potential target area that I could go for. So that's why it's pretty good. Like, I'm telling you now, like, come on now, right? So now you already have potential target areas. Drop y'all supports. Oh, someone already did it. Good job. So I already see King Kambong with support at 19,885. All right, let me check that. Not bad. That's not a bad distance. Riot, HROWAT, support 1953. John E310, support 19764. So y'all all have different supports. Who is right? You know, it's crazy because I have time. I'm gonna say it. Oh, the 9:45 already happened. 6:49. Okay, I said 9:45, 6:49. Right? You know what's crazy? And mind you, please open up TradingView because we're gonna add this on TradingView. You know what's crazy is why is it that y'all wait? Some of y'all wait, and I mean I'm not upset, but some of y'all wait to drop your supports after I drop mine. You know I give you plenty of time, ample. I'm talking about ample time to say it, right? I'm not upset if you do that. So I just want you to know. I just want you to know. I think about that slightly. So I do like to see some of y'all supports. It makes it like it's like I want y'all to always feel like you're a part of the show, right? You're a part, right? All right, what else? What else? What else? So we got Chairman Shea, 19860. Nisa Maxon, 199008. Sounds like some AKA numbers. Mark Sanders, my boy, 19694. Rico Sova, 19756. Y'all can't see my face? Was my face not showing this whole call? Oh, wow. My face was not showing this whole call? Wow. The whole time I'm making facial expressions. I did not know this whole call my face was not showing. Why no one say anything? Y'all know I'm one of those educators that like to show my face. What? Man. Wow. So my face was not showing this whole call. And I'm here making and my thing was light on. Like I didn't even look here. Like to even think. I was so zoned in. Wow. Dang, maybe I should just end the call, start it all over, do it again. Wow. I did not know that. Interesting. Dang, it feels like I was talking to a wall at this point. When my face doesn't show, I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Like no one can see me, right? Dang, that's crazy. I apologize. Some of y'all may have not cared, but anyways, that was a very awkward moment because I'm here talking. I'm looking at the camera. Like you just gotta know if you know. Like imagine you on a Zoom call at work or something, and then you right here talking and you making these facial expressions and you don't know it. Or imagine you think your face is not showing, and you're making crazy facial expressions, and it is. So like understand, like some of y'all probably had secondhand embarrassment for me. I know. All right, so let's go down and let's find this tricky support that a lot of people are having trouble with. So we go down here and stop. Okay, that looks like our first bus stop. All right, so this is 20,000. Where is this at? This is 19,878. I wouldn't do it. Also, that's pretty close to our resistance. Like, look at this and look up. That's real close, right? A little close to the purple line. Is that really something you want to do? No, I wouldn't. So let's go down the next octave. All right, we may have another bus stop around 19,792. I would go a little deeper, like right here. You see how there's an indent right here? I would go kind of up here. So really the 19,760s, like that's like the best one. 19,760 is like the best one to go with. So I don't know if any of y'all, I don't know if you went underneath that one, but I would go at the 19,760. There's an indent right here. And if you look to your left, you have a lot of supports and resistance. Right? Anything with the 19,740 to 1960, it's pretty ideal, but I'll probably go with the Can I go 1953? I may do, honestly, it doesn't really matter which one I pick. I mean, I may probably pick 19,755 or 19,760. It doesn't really matter. Because, I mean, I just don't want any one of y'all to think you're wrong, but if it's around that. If it's around 19,740 to 1970, you're pretty good. I mean, just the way you look at it. And bam, looks pretty good. But that was a little tricky. But, I mean, I could see how someone... I wouldn't even do underneath that. 690? I wouldn't. Like, you only have these two. Oh, I see. You do have this underneath. Let's look back. Whoa. All right. Don't need to. June 23rd stamped. June 20th stamps. June 19th stamps. So, I mean, when you go back, it verifies. So, I mean, I will say this. If you ever confused, just go back. And if one is hitting more on the other side, then it basically makes sense. Because you have you have past tense proof. You have history, right? But if you don't really have history for like that 690, we got some supports here. I mean, probably, but I'll probably do more of the 19753. So we go here. Oh, it's getting closer. So I'll probably do 19755 minus 100, 19655. Baby! And we are good. I mean, I could do super trend. I'll just do super trend real quick. Type super trend. Click the green and red. But I'll probably click green. Click 1 1. 1 1. Click OK. All right, cool. You went 200 pips lower. How far does the support have to be away from the resistance? I mean, if I can get it like, see, I hate doing that because there is variations. If I can, for BTC, I try to make it at least an 800. And I saw someone said they made it lower than mine. If you're gonna choose to do these low lows, I want you to know that is 700 pips away from your 50 EMA, this yellow line. So you're gonna wait 700 pips to finally say, oh yeah, it's selling, when it's probably selling already. Do you see that it's already red right now? You're gonna wait for it to run its full course. Instead, when you can find the next best time and use this as a target area. I would use this as a target area now that you brought it up. I would easily use that as a target area. That's like 300 pips. Target area. Easily. Easily use that as a target area. So now you have time when you're going to get in, then you have a target area. Time you're going to get in, you have a target area. Talk to me. Let me get some flames in this chat. Woo! All right. 19857. Y'all supports is way too low, bro. And I mean, oh, it's because you probably use this. I mean, I don't blame y'all for using that. But I will say the ones I'm seeing in the chat, that's ETH. ETH is smaller, and it's basically 1,000. So a lot of the things I used to say with 50 pips, ETH and BTC, comparing it's a little hard when it comes to the amount of numbers I use, right? So I'm gonna say this with BTC, when it comes to comparing a resistance and support, how much pips I would usually look, a minimum of 800. Maybe 750 if I don't have much to go by, right? To over 1,200 pips. So I'm looking for, like, it has to be at least that minimum 750 to 1,200 pips is how much I want it apart. But what I don't want you to do is you're counting. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna minus 800. That's cheating. You're not even looking for the best zones. You're deceiving yourself, and I would hate for you to do that. I promise you, if you're doing it naturally, you count. I don't even sometimes count. I kind of glance, and I'm like, oh, good. I would just glance at my number. So one thing I don't like to do is give it to you and you counting. So ETH, I used to say 800, but man, I'm not gonna lie, our resistance support a lot of times for ETH, I've seen at minimum 500. right? So ETH has gone to a point it's getting smaller where I wouldn't say 800 now, because I can find a very good resistance at 1150, and I can find a good support at 1090 for ETH. And I mean, I can honestly say that. So ETH, I'm still adjusting it, but ETH is a lot smaller now. So I mean, it's around the 500, 600 areas of how much I would like it. As for target areas, that's a preference. That's a preference. That's how much you would want. That's these two lines, right? As for another, so there's three, how I kind of, but these are not something I use heavy. It's just something I've noticed. As for something that I think it's very important, is this 50 EMA, this orange line. It's like your middle haven, right? It's very, 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 very important that you do not make, especially on BTC still, I honestly feel like it needs to be at least 200 pips apart. So 20,037. That means it has to at least be above 20,200 pips, right? What pips? 20,200. So it has to at least be above this, right? Like, I wouldn't use this because it's too close. I need at least 200. Granted, there's times that I've seen 100, maybe 170, and it works and it makes sense. Like, it just varies. But most of the time for BTC, ETH is 150. It has to be over 150. And when the way you count that is 15. So support, that's like minus. So 20,037. So it has to be less than 19,837. Anything more than that, it's too close to me on BTC. So y'all were picking 19,850. That's too close to the beat. Like, if you're going to do that, you might as well pick this as your resistance. Keep the consistency, right? And if you do that, that's 400 pips apart. Do you see now how doing one thing can lead to a lot of bad steps? So these are little things that I've noticed, and when people do it, it leads to way more bad steps. Now your potential sell you have and your potential buy you have, it's really off. And then you're like, I'm missing twice. Obviously, because you're too close. So I would recommend make sure it's at least more than 200 pips apart from here to whatever you pick up here for your resistance zone. Supports, more than 200 pips apart. So less. I mean, you know, right? So that's why you see I picked that 200. It's not even that yet. So that's why I'm picking. So just a lot of things because I seen that was very off. Just be a little smart with those things. I hope y'all took notes of all that. Do you recommend moving SL and profit? Yeah, of course. Moving SL and profit is key. So I'm about to put this on TradingView. Yeah, moving your SL and profit is very key though. Definitely key. So doing these alerts, I'm going to do ETH last. So if you don't have yours open, you can open it. You do get one free active one. If you have one already active, just delete it here. But yeah, I'm just going to do BTC. These are usually for $250 plus accounts. When it's the resistance, I usually do crossing up. But I have unlimited. That's like $10 on TradingView. I've never recommended anyone on here where I'm giving you a code. So I have no affiliations with this. But I mean, it is something to use if you want. Why is it important to have zones alerts? Because after my sessions, I usually eat dinner, guys, right? I'm usually looking what I'm going to eat for dinner, and going about my day. I may get away from this laptop for an hour, right? If I'm getting something to eat and then I get an alert for BTC crossing down, I now know what I already had set up, potential BTC sell. At that point, I'm looking at my clock for a 15-minute interval. So right now it's 7:03. If it was across now, I would wait till 7:15 to make sure it's below 19,655. In the first minute at 7:15, I'm looking at, since BTC, I'm looking at ETH, XRP. to make sure that it's selling too. If they are selling, getting my MT4 ready. By around 716, 717, if everything still looks good, bam, BTC sell idea. That's simple. So the alerts make it where you don't have to check the charts the whole time. I like it. It's up to you if you want to use it. If you don't use it and you're going to do it manually, which I don't recommend to do all of them, at least do one, you have a free one. You're basically staring at your laptop the whole time. All right. Which one would I recommend to do? See how I bounced off? I would recommend do this 1157 one at least. This is exactly why I said earlier, I just because Super Trend is saying selling, and that's why we still mark up. I hate when people trade off only indicators. That doesn't make sense, especially when you see the price going to the 50 EMA. It usually bounces off. Like, it can, and it just did. So I always recommend don't get in the middle. Like, you would have gotten in for a sell and been upset it's reversing. Don't ever get in the middle. Like, if you're either getting at the top or the bottom. And it depends which way you're going. If you get in from the bottom up or you getting in from the traditional sell. All right, 1098. Oh yeah, look at this. This is like 600 pips apart. That's why I was kind of saying, I knew I was like, at the end of the day, like with ETH, I can find some good support and resistance. They're usually 500 pips. Honestly, that's what I've noticed lately. If I could not make it like that, trust me, I would not make it like that. I think it was 11.57. All right, thank y'all so much. And you see, it even looks good. So like, it makes sense. Thank y'all so much. Go inside. Y'all could give reviews after this. Hope y'all have a blessed day. How did you get that yellow line trading view? It's the moving average. It's the EMA, but it's basically moving average. 50 settings with close as 0. I added it. I don't know if it's there, if it comes with it. I know Swipe and Scalper it comes with it. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna be back on Thursday. So I hope y'all enjoyed this session. I'm gonna be back on Thursday. You can watch the recorded session.
That was another good session. I love the fact that he went over the trading view setup. So I know a lot of people ask me questions on the back end. How do I set my trading view alerts? How do I set my trading view alerts? How do I do this? How do I do that? Just showed you. So if you're not trading in a $250 account, go ahead and set your alert for Ethereum. If you have TradingView Pro, then you're solid, you're good. You can set 20 alerts at one time and be good. So definitely let's get these alerts in. Everything has been set in the Telegram. If you're not in the Telegram, click on the links below inside the description on YouTube, and it's going to show you all the free things that you have access to just by being here every single week. If you're in the Telegram, you got it. I'll be updating you guys throughout the week. I'm using our travel package to go to New Orleans next week, or tomorrow. So let's go ahead. Let's have a blessed day. Let's make this Crypto Monday. Let's be cool and have a blessed week.